Guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're having a great day, and with no further ado, let's get into the week 13 picks. It's crazy to say we're on the week 13, but the season flies by pretty fast. So, starting off with tomorrow's game, Thanksgiving, we triple header. Starting off with Packers at the Lions, huge NFC North clash. Both teams coming off interesting wins, and both teams have been very, very inconsistent week to week. But I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think they get back. Yeah, after the week one loss, I think Detroit just wasn't ready for Green Bay, and I think two offenses that are very inconsistent. I'm gonna trust the one with Goff, Gibbs, Montgomery, and Amon-Ra St. Brown to get the win. And yeah, moving on to the Chiefs at the Cowboys. An interesting game, KC comes back late against the Colts to escape near fate of maybe being eliminated from the playoffs. Dallas also with a huge comeback to maybe keep their slim playoff hopes alive. Both teams probably hoping to get this win to um keep pace. But I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I just trust KC. And while Dallas's defense has played better, it's just they played the Raiders bad offense, who obviously fired Chip Kelly on Monday, I want to say, and then they played an Eagles offense, which has been very, very inconsistent. They take on a Chiefs offense that has been mostly, when healthy, pretty good. And I think the Chiefs stay alive and keep their playoff hopes alive. Moving on to the nightcapper, Bengals at Ravens. Joe Burrow expected to play, coming back the first time since week 2. Now, no T. Higgins or Trey Hendrickson for Cincinnati. Ja'Marr Chase will be back from his suspension, but I'm going to take the Ravens. I know the offense hasn't been great, but I think that's more so because Lamar still injured, still coming back off that hamstring injury. But this Ravens defense has been amazing, really, since they traded for Alohi Gilman, brought Kyle Hamilton closer to the line of scrimmage, and I think this defense can wreak havoc. And against the bad Bengals defense, I think this could be a game where the Ravens offense finally clicks and they play much better. And yeah, moving on to the Black Friday game, Bears Eagles, a huge matchup in the NFC. Who would have been saying that preseason? Both teams 8-3. Chicago's won 8 of their last 9 since that 0-2 start. Philly, bad loss. Felt like the offense was clicking, but then fell apart in the second half. Um, Banged up on the offense and defensive side, and hmm, I'm gonna take the Bears to win this game. Yeah, I think Chicago, this team, despite the injuries on their defense, has been playing well. I mean, last week against the Steelers, without their top 2 corners, top 2 linebackers, they still were able to get a huge. Like, the defense still has playing well despite the injuries, and this offense has been clicking. And I think Chicago can give Philly some hard times, and I think they win this game. Moving on, Jags at the Titans, Jacksonville, very inconsistent. Like, some weeks they look like they're going to contend in the AFC. Other weeks, like last week, they barely are beating bad teams. Now, I know Arizona at home, they're going to play better, but they just have not been consistent. Taking on a Titans team that maybe played their best game in a while against a really good Seattle defense. But I'm going to trust the Jags slightly more, and they could be 8-4. And if Indy does lose, I think they would have the tiebreaker over the Colts, so they would be in first place, which crazy to say because a couple weeks ago people were probably penciling in the Colts to win this division, but not so fast. And speaking of the Colts, they take on the Texans, who have been red hot, won 6 of the last 8. I mean, this defense is proving why they maybe are the best defense in the league. This offense just has to be serviceable. Now, No indication on whether CJ Stroud will play or not. You'd think he would most likely, now that it's been over 2 weeks since he had that concussion. Um, and I'm going to pick Houston. On the road, this defense has just been playing great. And we saw Indy last week, for some reason, go away from Jonathan Taylor despite him having so much success. And I think Houston can make some plays. And I think they get a huge win and make this AFC South race crazier coming down the final stretch. Moving on, Saints at the Dolphins. New Orleans. Been a weird year for them. Early in the season, they were playing some good football, keeping pace. But as of recently, outside of the Panthers game, New Orleans has been pretty bad. Taking on a Dolphins team off the bye, getting healthier, and at home, I'm going to take the Dolphins to get a huge win. I just think Miami playing well at the right time, and I think this team who after that 1-6 start, won two of their last three before their or three of the last four before the bye, I think can continue to get it rolling, and they can be 5-7. They play the Jets next week. They could be 6-7 before they take on the Steelers. I mean, there's a realistic scenario Miami could finish with like 7, 8 wins, maybe even 9 wins. And while it's not what fans maybe hope for, it maybe could be a sign that this team has the right coach. They just need to find the right quarterback. Moving on, Falcons at the Jets. Atlanta did surprise me. The offense looked much better with Kirk Cousins now. With Michael Penix's huge injury, we'll see what Atlanta does in the offseason. But hang on a Jets team that, it's the battle of the or quarterbacks with Cousins and Tyrod Taylor. But I'm with Atlanta. I can see the Jets winning this game. Like maybe the defense plays, like they did against Baltimore, and the Jets offense are able to do enough. But I trust this Atlanta defense, which for a while people could not say, but I trust this Atlanta defense. And I think the way Kirk Cousins played this past week, if he just plays to like at level, Atlanta can get some wins down the stretch and salvage this season to maybe not give the Rams a top 10 pick. Moving on, Cardinals at the Bucks. I mean, it's been a rough year for Arizona. Almost beat the Jags, but another game where it's like almost doesn't cut it. Taking on a Tampa Bay team that's lost 3 straight. Baker apparently will be playing despite suffering an AC joint sprain. But I'm not 100% sure, but it's leaning towards he's going to play on Sunday, so we'll have to see. But I'm gonna go with the Bucks at home against the Cardinals team that basically is thrown in the towel. I know they're still playing spirited, but like when you bench your starting quarterback, you're kind of saying, this year isn't our year. And I think Tampa Bay hopefully can get back on track and keep this division in their hands. Moving on to the Rams at the Panthers, Carolina. One of those inconsistent teams last week. Bryce Young did not play great. I mean, neither did Brock Purdy, but Young did not play great after a tremendous performance against the Falcons. Taking on a Rams team that is rolling. They have just been looking amazing. And I'm going to take the Rams on the road. They just look like the best team right now. And while Carolina at home could make this close, I could also see this being like, when they played the Bills earlier in the year, where the Buffalo just destroyed them. Yeah. Moving on, Niners at the Browns. Shador, first home start of his career. Can he, make some magic like he did last week against the Raiders? I could see, banged up Niners defense. That's been good, but still is prone to giving up big plays. But I'm going to trust this Niners team against the Browns. Although the Browns defense is very great. So I could see them giving the Niners offense some what's the word? Like I could seeing them giving a hard time and keeping this close. I'm gonna trust the Niners. Better coach, better team gets the win. Moving on to the 4 o'clock slate, Vikings at the Seahawks. JJ McCarthy more than likely will not play because he's in concussion protocol. Taking so most likely means that Max Brosmer, the undrafted free agent from the University of Minnesota, will be starting his first ever game. He has come in garbage time for a couple games, but this is his first time starting against a really good Seattle team that is rolling and at home against a Vikings team that has a good defense, but the offense just is not there. I think Seattle gets a huge win, and they keep pace with the Rams team that they're fighting to overtake. Moving on to it, AFC West matchup, Raiders at the Chargers. LA off the bye, hoping maybe are a little bit healthier, maybe on the more so on the offensive side. But I'm just trusting this team. I do not like the Raiders now. Maybe after firing Chip Kelly, maybe the Raiders offense, finally can do something with the interim offensive coordinator. But I just trust LA's defense, and this Raiders team just is not very good, and it's going to be a long year for them. Moving on, Bills at the Steelers. Pittsburgh trying to keep pace with the Ravens team that has passed them by after starting 1-5. Buffalo trying to salvage the year, trying to get some wins down the stretch because they have not looked good the last couple of weeks. They have had some bad losses, but I'm going to trust them, even though it is at Pittsburgh, and this is one of those games where the Steelers maybe get back. I just think Buffalo off the mini bye because they play on Thursday. I think they'll regroup, and I think they're not going to make those silly turnovers Josh Allen did against the Texans, and I think Buffalo tries to keep pace with New England, even though I don't think they're going to win this division. Moving on, Denver at Washington. Sunday Night Football. Denver trying to make it 9 in a row since that 1-2 start in Washington. No Jaden Daniels. We'll see if he comes back later on, but is not playing this week. And I'm going to go ahead and take Denver. Their defense is just great. And even though Bo Nix on this offense has been not the greatest, I trust Denver's defense to win this game. And against a bad Washington defense, I could see Denver maybe playing a little bit better and making this not really a game after the first half. Moving on, Giants at the Patriots. The Super Bowl rematch of those Eli Brady years, but obviously, Giants on hard times. New England trying to win their 10th consecutive game before heading on to the bye, which is crazy to say. And I think they do it. I just trust this Pats team. Jackson Dart, we'll see if he's able to go, but more than likely, even if he does play, I just trust New England so much more. And yeah, those are my picks. To recap, I got the Lions over the Packers, the Chiefs over the Cowboys, the Ravens over the Bengals, the Bears over the Eagles, the Jags over the Titans, Texans over the Colts, Dolphins over the Saints, Falcons over the Jets, Bucks over the Cardinals, Rams over the Panthers, Niners over the Browns, Seahawks over the Vikings, Chargers over the Raiders, Bills over the Steelers, Broncos over the Commanders, and the Pats over the Giants. But I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And I'll catch you guys next week for some more videos. So, bye.